Alright, so this is my buddy's 2003 Ram van. It actually has a 5.9 in it, which is impressive. I hadn't really looked at this. This has been sitting in my backyard for almost 2 years now, since we bought the house. We'll get the full story from him later in the video. Essentially, he headed out of California with this. He had done a bunch of work to it, got it all fixed up, and was using it to go to one of his trade shows. And he got just outside of Vegas and it started overheating on him. I'm pretty sure that it lost both head gaskets. And outside of that, we don't really know what else is wrong with it. He ended up buying a truck in Vegas, rented a trailer, hauled this back to California, and then when he moved out here, he brought it with him. But he just hasn't had the available funds, and I haven't had the attention to focus on it. That's all changed now, so now we're gonna start getting into this and figuring out just exactly what this thing needs. So I'm gonna get this battery out and see if it will take a charge. I've done a little bit of pricing, just initial, to kind of give him some ideas. Looks like Jegs has heads, and we're looking at, what was it, like $460 a head with a 3-year warranty. So we're looking at just under $1,000 in heads plus gaskets to go that route. LKQ has engines listed at like $1,500 for used. That's pulled. That's not horrible, but that's way more than I thought they were going to be. So I don't know if we'll go that route. I think it's about $4 grand for a reman engine, a long block. What I'm expecting to find is it needs heads. I used to do machine work for a living, so that's not a big deal for me, other than I don't have a surfacer or a belt sander big enough to do this. Pretty much no matter what we're gonna do, we're gonna be anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 in parts. So we'll get into it, see what it's gonna need, and see what the cheapest route is. I think from what I've gathered from him, he wants to stay under $1,000 in parts, and that's respectful. I mean, the van's in good shape. It's a California van. There's no rust on it. The paint degradation that's happened to it has been since it's been sitting here. It's in a position where body-wise we can get it fixed up. He needs it. It's better suited for what he does than the truck he's got is. So it will run, and the power is not horrible, but as it warms up, it starts to lose power. So my next concern outside the heads is it quickly getting warmed up, and as it warms up, is it getting tight? Because the power loss doesn't necessarily jive with just head gaskets. So looking at the oil, it's clean. I mean, it needs an oil change, which I'm pretty sure he had just done an oil change. But this hasn't been stirred up and mixed for probably a year and a half, maybe longer. I don't know the last time we actually ran it. At least a year and a half ago, it would start up and move under its own power. So I'm hopeful that we can get it started when we're ready to move it in the garage, and it will put itself there. Oh, there we go. Put this on the charger. But yeah, it's 2003. It's a 2500. So I mean, it's a good van. This door's a little wonky, and I think that's pretty common for him. It just needs some realignment done. The seals are popping out, which kind of jacks with it. So not a good idea to open that one. But it's a full cargo van. He had just put tires on it for that trip. It was a real bummer that this happened. But I mean, the thing's got no rust in it. You could argue that it would be worth a reman motor, because you could probably get another 20 years out of this thing, but it would clean up really good. I think it would be worth trying to squeak his budget up a little bit and just get it done right. So we'll see where we end up. So today's the big day. We're gonna get this thing moved around and into the garage. I wanted to come out and look at a few things. So the radiator's dry. So I'm gonna grab a hose and we're just gonna fill it out of the faucet. Didn't sound like it was terribly low. There it is. We'll probably end up leaving the cap off. All right, Mark, give us the rundown on what happened. I've only ever gotten parts of the whole event.
I was pulling a hill heading to Vegas, too much in the van, too much in the trailer, and didn't take my foot off the gas till it blew.
How far did you push it? Like after it started overheating?
Oh, it didn't have that. It blew.
Oh, okay.
Like the gasket just gave out.
Okay. So you didn't drive on it after it was...
No,
okay.
I got another bit, enough to get over to the side of the road.
Okay.
I was still on the grade when I pulled over.
Okay. So the working theory I have going is what actually happened is your water pump failed. Apparently the impellers on these just disintegrate. OEM, aftermarket, all of them. And I'm wondering if that's what led to your overheating issue. Because in reality, this 5.9, pulling the van loaded, pulling this trailer loaded, like how fast were you running up the mountain?
I was probably doing 55 and pushing. Yeah. I was still under 5,000. I know that. Yeah. Like I was at 30. I got to be at 4,000 at most.
It was this time of year, right? Like early spring.
October.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't hot in the high desert.
I think your water pump failed, and that's what.
Sure. Well, hopefully it's just gaskets and a little resurfacing,
yeah.
And because the motor was rebuilt recently enough that it should be good.
Okay.
The valve should not be worn.
That's positive because that indicates to me that everything should come apart easily. Also, it's a California vehicle, so we shouldn't have a rust issue. The biggest issue I've seen is on the intake, the 4 bolts at the corners. They're through bolts, and they like to rust on the backside, but I don't think we're going to have that problem. I've seen a lot of guys break them off and have to weld on them, and I don't think we're going to have that problem. That seems to be the worst part of taking these apart, other than the timing cover.
Saturate them before you even attempt it,
so,
just be preemptive.
So before you got here, I went ahead and topped it off. It was maybe a gallon low.
Okay.
I just topped it off with the hose. We're going to drain it all back out anyways. All right, let's see if she'll come to life. The key is in the ignition. Definitely got a miss. Okay, so she's not running the greatest. We've got a little bit of white smoke coming out. She's got a bit of a miss. She pulled herself out of a hole. So 350. Shit. $350, $151 on the mileage, but he's saying that the engine had been rebuilt at some point. He's not sure when, but when I put it in drive, it did die. We're going to get it around here. We're going to see if we can get it up to operating temperature. See what it do. And it died again. Oh. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the garage. I want to position that passenger corner so that the door will still close.
Yeah, I got it. Am I hearing a clunk or am I just hearing the miss?
I'm not entirely sure.
Vibrating that motor that's scared me.
That's the miss. It's just not hitting evenly. So it's burping, but I'm not seeing like combustion.
No oil, no smoke, no nothing bad there. What's the chemistry show you?
It is oil that I would expect to see in a vehicle if you probably just change the oil in and then overheat it.
Right, but no water in
No
it.
water.
You've been running it all this way, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, we should start to see indicator of milkshake at this point.
That's what I'm saying. That's all good signs. That wasn't a good sign. When you speed it up, it sounds better. And if the bottom end was really wrecked, it would sound worse at higher RPM.
I think over here is a misfire. It's probably foul plug.
So you're gonna open this up, or are you gonna?
It
try to
looks
work
like
on
a
the
lot of
side?
it. A lot of it can come out dog out. So yeah, we're not seeing any indicators of combustion coming up through the radiator. It's got a miss. I'm pretty sure that's what we're hearing. In fact, I know it is because I can go back to the exhaust. It's definitely a misfire. I'm not terribly concerned with that since we're pulling the head. I would like to get it up to temp so we can see if the thermostat will open and see if it will flow water. That will kind of tell me what's going on with the water pump. Either way, I'm going to pull the water pump off of it.
You want to turn it off? Here's the key. I'll put it back in.
Yeah, go ahead. I think I've seen enough. I'm not seeing any indicators that it's really trying to move any water. I mean, we're not up to temperature yet.
No, it'd take a while.
That pretty well just confirms my suspicions that the water pump is what screwed you over in the first place. So we will definitely do the water pump. So yeah, that plan, things are looking pretty promising that the heads are salvageable, at least from a diagnostic standpoint. We'll still go clear through them. I'll do a full tear down on them. We'll get them Magnaflux. We'll get them surfaced if they're good, and then we'll slap it back together. All right, so we got her in here. The room is way, way, way better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, plenty of room to work on this thing. I was worried about nothing. I might even be able to shuffle it around a little bit more before I tear into it. That's probably about as close as I want it to be. So, we never did fully get it up to operating temp. We kind of just gave up at some point. It never did move any water, so I'm fairly confident the water pump is bad in it. I'm going to work on starting to get this interior cleaned up, get some lighting positioned, because it's going to be dark in here. But yeah, it looks like most of the work is going to be done through the doghouse, through these doors, so these seats will have to come out. We'll just get it all kind of cleaned up. I could go back to the exhaust, and it was pretty prevalent that there was a miss in the exhaust. So we will go from there. As I'm rewatching this and editing it, I'm listening to how that van is running in that video. And I know in the video I said that I wasn't concerned about the miss, but after going through it and reevaluating it, that miss is more concerning to me than head gaskets at this point. The van never did come up to temperature. In the next episode, I start pulling things off the front of the motor. It wasn't even hot. Which is weird. Because it does sound like it kicks down. There are audible changes to how the engine is running as it's running. But I am now more concerned about what the plugs look like, what the inside of the cylinders look like, and just what the valve train looks like before I pull the heads, before I pull valve covers. We're going to do some additional inspections on all of that stuff. Probably going to go ahead and do a compression test. We're probably going to go ahead and do a cooling system leak down, except I've already pulled the top radiator hose off. Not that that would be difficult to put back on. I may go ahead and seal everything back up and just see what we can come up with. I'm definitely concerned about that water pump. I never saw any indicators that water was trying to move anywhere. But that van sat there and ran long enough that it should have warmed up to a noticeable degree. I never noticed anything that I took apart that was even beyond warm. And we'll look at that in that next video. In addition to that information and those notes, the graphic that you see on the screen is just something I threw together real quick to do a cost comparison. This is still assuming that we're pulling heads. I'm now not convinced that that's what we're going to end up doing. But you can see here that the cost comparison of just parts, the surfacing, the remanning of the heads, or buying reman heads, the comparison there is about $700 difference. So it's significant. If we can find something else is going on here, like if I pull that water pump off and I find that it's ate up, then we may be putting this back together and trying to fire it back up with a new water pump and just see what it does. But I'm also concerned about that miss. Why does it have such a hard, consistent miss? Is there something going on with the valve train? Did we lose a lifter maybe? Because that's a significant miss that's going on. However, it is coming out the exhaust. So I'm still trying to work through things. I've not worked as a mechanic in a very long time, and the time that I did work as a mechanic was very short. So I'm not incapable. Things don't quite come to me as quickly as they would somebody who's been doing this for 20 years. So we're gonna take a slightly different route in episode 3. Episode 2, you're gonna see me tear it down, the front of the motor, and get the interior cleaned out and get the doghouse out and get ready to start doing something significant. But we'll pump the brakes in episode 3 and just verify a few things first. So if you're interested in seeing where this ends up, please like this video. Please follow the channel. There's also a Facebook and an Instagram for Under Construction Network. I'd really appreciate it if everybody checked those out. I'm going to be posting these long form videos on both YouTube and Facebook. You can watch them wherever you want. I'm going to try and throw in some short forms here and there. I've also got a profile attached to all of that I'm going to try and document some of the back end processes of just doing the video editing, the production side of it. And I've got a few other ventures in the works, a few other channels, a few other pages. So if you're interested in all of that, please check out my social medias. Give me a like, give me a follow. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one.